Hey guys, it's Ao here. Today we're doing a speed analysis. What's at the speed right now? I always forget to do that beforehand. But yeah, let's get into this game. At the center left, I suppose, we got TripleL, spawned as our red Cortex guy, a 38 OS player. And we have Contra, who has recently started playing Bar once again, spawned as our blue guy on the right-hand side, also Armada. And this is shallow straits, so on this map, there's lots of water. There's lots of shallow straits. One being right here, another one here, and yada yada. Now, this map is a very technical, weird map, and it can feel kind of rock, paper, scissors-y in a way, but really it's more about how quickly you build ships. Like, do you build a lot of ships? You know, what is your game plan here? Because a lot of different things can happen on this map. But for now, we do see some bot labs coming up for both players. There isn't a lot of metal available, or at least not initially. It can be kind of tricky securing your metal. So opening bots is a little bit more of a thing than vehicle, especially since you're so close to your opponent. You want to rely on the maneuverability of bots a little bit. Contra has built some ticks. I think he's forgotten that ticks do not cross most water. They can cross water that is 5 or less deep. If we look at the bottom left, we see the elevation is -15 in the shallow part here. So ticks cannot cross here. So Contra just goofing a little bit. I believe this might be one of his first games back. So, you know, mistakes can happen. For sure. But we do see a Centurion out. Contra now reclaiming his bot lab. Probably going to be building a seed lab in a moment. And it looks like TripleL here, you know, has 3 cons out here, boosting the lab, still producing some cons, but his commander is moving out to this upper location here. And if he's able to secure this by ground, that's certainly going to be really easy for him to just control more metal on the map. You know, in terms of ground, but then you got to factor in the ships that Contra's making, because ships can certainly barrage the place from a distance, especially when you're doing something like destroyers. Now, destroyers are a good call here because, you know, A, they're anti-sub, B, they got extra range, you know, and then you pair it with something like a skater to have some close combat kind of range, and they're a little bit more maneuverable than those bigger ships. And at the same time, providing radar and sonar and whatnot to be able to just see stuff is really nice to have as well. So, you know, I think Contra, kind of a strange opener here. He does have 1 con bot out, so he's going to be grabbing some metal with that. But you know, compared to Triple here, who has 5 cons out at this point, expanding with 2 cons out at that 3-point or that cluster of 3 mexes here, but no ships yet. So I'm not sure if this means Contra is just going to do some massive damage with this Corsair or not. But either way, both players need to be really careful in how they handle this. You know, Contra can take some damage to grunts, you know, or he could be sending this Corsair out and do some damage to the base of Triple. So I don't know, maybe we'll see a base trade here. I'm not 100% sure at this point. Contra's commander finds a couple grunts, take out 3 of the 4. That's got to feel pretty good, because if you're able to secure this and make it so that there's no reinforcing units in this position, then I'm not sure if Triple's going to be able to get in there. Now his commander can, and this is very common on this map because the distance is so short. It's so easy to get your commander into your opponent's base, but you can totally just walk it this way and degun the place and take out everything. Now there is ultimately 1 LT, decides to degun that instead, and now that leaves a big window of opportunity for these grunts to do some damage. A couple of dolphins come up here, try to do some damage to these units, but it's too late. They're now too far onto the land, and now Contra's in a bit of hurt. He does have a couple of cons out for the water, so he's going to be able to take those water mexes. That's going to be a nice thing to have. There's a jellyfish that was added on by TripleL. Now, these destroyers barely outrange these, but Contra is actually, I'm not sure if he just doesn't know that's destroyer or that jellyfish home onto their targets, but either way, that the Corsair goes down, and that's a huge loss here. Triple, meanwhile, has degunned the base, it's in ruin at this point. And now Contra's in a pickle here. He doesn't really have any production. He doesn't really have any stuff coming in, but he does have a commander out here. He has captured. Commanders can capture, by the way. Bot labs is something we don't see every day. TripleL here, adding on some LTs for defense. I think this is a very good call. Now, Contra's commander can't really push this location. Now, this thug can maybe do something. But there's a lot of cons out here. Just 5 cons able to repair stuff rather quickly. And all these LTs and things can certainly put a hurt on this. Unfortunately, destroying this bot lab has also destroyed some of the wins that TripleL has made. Now, Contra, I'm not sure what his plan is here at this point. This is certainly a base, not only a base trade, but like we're now swapping positions kind of thing. TripleL rebuilt a lab over in Contra's base and now adding on some solars to quickly boost his economy to be able to produce some units. Unfortunately, his commander's sitting a bit AFK and not producing units quickly. Some grunts come out here. These are probably survivors from the base attack, but Contra takes him out with his commander, trying to add on a bot lab. Unfortunately, was not watching, not paying attention, and he loses the bot lab that he was making. Builds on an LT, tries to build a bot lab, but he doesn't really have a ton of energy here. You know, two solars is you know, only enough for a lab. It's hard to support that and an LT that's firing. It's hard to support D guns, but you know, for now it is going to be enough because not much is going on. But yeah, meanwhile over here we see TripleL already adding on more solars. Already has some cons out. You know, building a con turret even. So I think just having this base here secured, you know, he's got those mechs rebuilt, or you know. Not rebuilt, but like they survived. So now it's really hard for, I think, TripleL to, you know, take any damage here. And with that HLT that he's built at his main base here, Contra kind of just has to leave the location. And this allows TripleL to have those 3 mexes in that position. It's very defended. And he's also got this secondary base. So I'm not sure what Contra's plan here is. He's got a couple of Dolphins and a commander. I think he's moving his commander over here to see what he can do with just those 3 units. TripleL doesn't have a ton of units out here to defend. He doesn't have the LTs in this location, so maybe this can work. Contra can certainly pull off some miracles, so maybe, just maybe, this pans out for him, despite all the stats saying otherwise. TripleL here, a little bit low on energy. He's not going to be able to D-gun, so those Dolphins can maybe get in here. Even producing a bomber with this air lab. Just too many labs. He doesn't have much production at the moment, so this is a nice opportunity for Contra to maybe find some damage here. He's skirting the water, so he does have a retreat path if necessary. He's doing some damage to the commander, and this bomber's doing some damage back. So LT now being added on here. 2 bombers out now, damaging the commander. Contra D-guns the LT, but takes so much damage. He gets another D-gun off, but his commander's getting so low. I think these bombers might seal the deal here in a moment. Because, yeah, I think TripleL here has done a really, really nice job just defending against that commander just in all situations. You know, losing his base, but, you know, adding on all these LTs to make sure that the commander doesn't keep that location. Adding on HLT, having the jellyfish in time, like all that stuff. Really, really good stuff. Now these nanos are repairing the commander, and I think Contra's dead here. But yeah, I think just the way that TripleL has played here was significantly better. Just his ability to adapt to the situation, and Contra just kind of loses his commander, unfortunately for him. But what a game. This base trade into now I have your base and you have my base kind of situation is quite unique. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And yeah, tell your friends, subscribe, like the video if you do. And yeah, I'll be producing a lot more of these videos, so I hope you guys enjoy them. And, you know, feel free to drop some critique if you want. Let me know what I could work on, what I need to do better. I know I say a lot, and I know I say you know a lot, so I'm trying to work on that a little bit. But let me know how it's going. Thanks for watching.